Hello and welcome to Picture This Thought. Today's image is this of an artwork that I visited, I think in Sunderland. I was struck by the use of the word passionate. It's been a bit overused recently in marketing and mission statements, but I think what it gets at is a rawness of emotion, and it got me thinking about the place of emotions in our spiritual life. This morning at church we were praying for our Iranian friends who are part of our fellowship, many of whom have been denied their basic human rights. They're not allowed to work, earn a living, they're not allowed any help with housing. And I must admit that I was crying because of how upsetting and shocking that situation is. And it's comforting for me to know that we don't have a remote God, but we have a God who sympathises and understands because he knows what it is to be human. He knows what it is to experience human emotions. The shortest verse in the Bible is Jesus wept at the death of his friend Lazarus. Jesus cared, Jesus experienced deep emotions. And famously, he also got angry at the injustice of the moneylenders and the rip-off merchants in the temples to the extent that he threw over their tables. And I think that sometimes we can be tempted to think, well, as Christians, we shouldn't get over emotional about things. It's a very rational thing. It's about knowing the truth. But actually, if you look at the Bible, there's a real richness of emotional life, and all of life is under God's lordship, including our emotions. We are all emotional beings. Our emotions are an important part of our life with Christ. It's right to get upset when we see injustice. It's right to get upset when we see hurt and when we see people who are lost and broken. It's right to get angry when we see people oppressing others and when we see people being ripped off and exploited. Our faith isn't just a set of right beliefs to assent to. It's a fire in the belly. It should stir us up to live a different life. So let's take Jesus as our model and not be afraid to feel emotion, to express emotion, and to bring that emotion to him. So that's today's thought. Let me pray. Lord, thank you that our emotions can help us to worship. They can stir us to action against injustice. They can help us to empathise with others, and they can draw us closer to you. Lord, help us not to repress our emotions, remembering the first commandment, which is to love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and mind and strength. Lord, help us to bring whatever we have and whatever we are to you, to be transformed inside and out. Amen. Well, that's today's Picture This Thought. Thank you for joining me. Do join me again for more.